Hello, I'm Darren Hardy, entrepreneur mentor and publisher of Success Magazine, and I want to welcome you to Insane Productivity. This is a 12-part series on how to achieve extreme levels of personal productivity. This is where you'll learn to produce insane results, insanely fast, sanely. Welcome to Module 5. Hey, I'm excited to hear about how your no multitasking sobriety went. You did it, right? Right? If not, do it starting today. If you tried and fell off the wagon, that's okay, happens to the best of us. Just get back on the horse and start riding it again. In this module, you're going to start to design your glorious life, the life of your choice, your design. I think you might have some serious epiphanies during this module. I'm excited to share these unique insights and insane breakthroughs with you. Let's join the session now. Here's what happens for most of us. There's this achievement addiction because there's always a gap between where you are and where you want to go. And this ends up creating this addiction. The push to achieve can itself become an addiction. And like an addiction, you're only as good as your last achievement fix. The result is protracted frustration and disillusionment. And it ends up becoming this vicious cycle of despair. Okay? And look, I'm coming back from being in the cave and confessing I've been there. I understand this condition. Okay? It's like a merry-go-round that you can't get off of. This vicious cycle of despair. You pursue, because that's where you're going to find value, you're going to become important, that you're significant, and then you achieve. But that's empty, and you're dissatisfied. So what do? You pursue more, then you get it, and you're dissatisfied. The thing I found in life, you can ask my wife, this was this constant battle, that no matter what I achieved, I was still dissatisfied. I could literally just walk from the stage of getting a fantastic award of a massive achievement that most people would work their whole lives for, and I achieve it, and I walk backstage, and I'm already dissatisfied about what I need to be doing next. Which only has you do what? Pursue more. Achieve more, dissatisfaction, then you pursue more. The chase itself can become obsessive. It's called the hedonic treadmill. Meet Carl. Carl was the valedictorian of his college, the captain of the football team. He graduated Princeton with a 3.8 GPA. He got an MBA from NYU. Within 3 years, he was the CEO of a multinational public corporation, earning 7 figures. I bet his parents were proud. He did it all. Every step of the way, he achieved. Resume looks good. This is what Carl confessed. I'm addicted to achievement. I'm never satisfied with my accomplishments. I always push for more. No matter what I do, it never seems enough to bring me happiness. Even though I know I have achieved a lot, I have a persistent feeling of emptiness inside. I keep hoping that my next achievement will bring me the inner peace and sense of personal value that I'm longing for. Anybody relate? Anybody? Okay? Exactly. So this vicious cycle of despair looks like this. When people feel the emptiness of achievement, they take on a brute force approach. They think, I'll do more of this until it feels good. Instead, stop and consider, could it be that I'm chasing the wrong thing? If you were to describe your best self, this is a great exercise into itself, but if you were to describe your best self, living your best self, what it would be your attributes, your characteristics, how would you walk, talk, how would you interact, how would you encourage, how would you support? Living your best life, doing the things that you love, doing the thing that is important, doing the thing that gives you joy, doing the thing that gives you a zest. Here's the interesting thing that you would find. It usually involves answers of love and connectedness and caring and compassion and kindness and humility. Rarely does it include fame, money, power, status, titles, and material possessions. Not that there's anything wrong with those things, if they are the outcropping of the pursuit of your inner drive, what matters to you on the inside, for you, not for the objective of everybody else. So how do you start changing this focus? the best place really is to start at the end so that you have some context and some perspective, okay? And that is looking back from the end back to where you are right now. How do you want to be remembered? When it's all said and done, how do you want to be remembered? It's a great context in which to look back at yourself right now. You've heard it before, but I'm telling you, this is a very valuable exercise because all of a sudden you get a totally different perspective. Great story about Alfred Nobel. Okay, everybody knows who Alfred Nobel is, right? All the Nobel prizes. Well, interesting thing was, in Stockholm, his brother died. The papers got it wrong, thought it was Alfred, and wrote an obituary for Alfred Nobel. Alfred Nobel gets it and reads his own obituary. Alfred Nobel had invented dynamite, and the obituary focused on the fact that his invention was used in all of the world wars and all the civil wars and had been responsible for killing hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. Alfred Nobel reads that this is his obituary, becomes aghast, commits the rest of his life and fortune to changing his obituary. He starts the Nobel Prizes, and to this day is responsible for funding, celebrating, and acknowledging some of the greatest achievements in humanity. Science, history, all the rest of it. When he died, the obituary was written about him and his Nobel Prize efforts. He literally rewrote his obituary. If you died today, how would your obituary read? And maybe you might even say, short. Today you can decide, as Alfred Nobel did, to rewrite it. And now's the time to decide how you want it written, by the way. Because when you're dead, it's too late. What do you want people to say? How do you want your eulogy to be? How do you want it to show up in the local paper? Or is it in the national press? Or is it global news? You get to decide that now. Here's the deal, though. You don't need to dent the universe. This is another American sort of promotion that every person on the planet needs to. If they don't dent the universe, they're not a worthy human being. You don't need to dent the universe. You just need to live the kind of life that brings you and the people around you joy. And for the most part, nearly 100% of the time, a rounding error of 100% of the time, it's not about denting the universe. So get over that idea. Get over the idea that you have to create this fantastic legacy and you got to do these things to change humanity. Get over that. Look, for the most part, if I asked you who your great-great-grandmother was, you probably don't even know her name. So you think this is so important, my legacy is my family, or, I'm going to change humanity? Nah, you ain't. And nah, you ain't. Look, just do what you do right now that brings you and the people around you right now great joy, happiness. And it could be your pursuit, testing your potential, expanding who you are and who you can become. Absolutely. But do it with the idea that you're doing it for you, not for some humanity-changing or family legacy-affecting thing. No, don't sacrifice your current life with this illusion. I'll tell you where this really came home for me. So this is my father's mentor. His name is Les Davis. He was my dad's college football coach, Cal State Hayward. And after my dad coached at the University of New Mexico, coached at the University of Hawaii, came back, got a corporate job, didn't really work out, so he went into business with his mentor, Les Davis, into real estate, did real estate for the rest of his life. Well, Les Davis was born in Arkansas, in some small, obscure town, one of 9 kids. Ends up doing really well. But Les's business approach was kind of like a street knife fight. I mean, it was just a chess match, and he would lay awake at night strategizing about how he could do it. And he was very, very successful at it. Very successful in business. He ended up accumulating more than 400 units of real estate, a stack of cash a mile wide, very wealthy, and the rest of it. So he ends up getting cancer. He's in his final days. I go with my dad to go visit him. We know it's probably going to be the last time. We spend the afternoon just laughing, talking about old stories and the rest of it. Jolly good time. We go to leave. My dad's out the door. I'm about to exit the door. And Les Davis goes, Darren, come back here. Come back here. So I walk in there and I put my arms on his hospital bed. And he grabs my forearm and a very intent look on his face. And he lifts himself up for the first time from the bed. And he says, don't miss the point. Don't miss the point like I did. If I had spent as much time and energy accumulating relationships as I did houses, if I'd focused on contributing to others as I did trying to negotiate contracts, I would have had a much better life. Don't miss the point. I said, yes, Les, I won't. I walked out. And it was affecting, no doubt. A few days later, he was dead. Do you know what the final words from one of the greatest achievers in modern history was? Sam Walton, right? Built Walmart. One of the wealthiest guys on the planet. His family still occupies many spots of the Forbes 10. You know what his final words were before he died? I blew it. Surrounded by his family. Final words, looking in their eyes, into their faces, I blew it. Do not let your last realization on this planet be, I blew it. Because you chased an illusion. You chased the wrong thing and forgot to live this life. As Jim Rohn, my mentor, defined success, the goal of life, he said, the goal of this human adventure is productivity. Pursuing the full development of all your potential. And I believe that. I believe that's part of this grand adventure is what can you do with what you've got? How can you dig deeper to become more, to experience this, to feel what it's like when your potential untapped is released? How can you affect the people around you? What can you do? What can you accomplish? That's part of the drama as well. Ethan Hawke, we just interviewed him recently in Success, and this one line, talking with him, I just thought, okay, I just got to write this down, and it fits right here. People think of happiness as freedom and having fun. That's true. That's the myth of happiness. But the truth is, what really makes people happy is meeting their responsibilities, doing a good job, and doing something they believe in. The great John Wooden put it this way, and I think this is a fantastic definition of success. And here it is. Success is peace of mind. That is a direct result of knowing that you've done your best at becoming the best you are capable of becoming. That's it right there. That's it. That's not missing the point right there. So what is success to you? If you were to rewrite the definition now with clear mind and clear eyes, how would you define success? So I want you to spend a few minutes going through the first of those few questions. And this is an important one because this is what this whole thing is about. If you don't know how you define success, of course, you are never going to realize it because you don't even know what it looks like. Okay, complete the definition of success for yourself. I have a worksheet for you in your manual that'll take you through several key questions and processes that you heard me talk about during the summit session. Do that now and then turn the audio module back on. I'll wait for you. So, how about your definition of success? Was that enlightening? Is it different than what you might have thought it was? Is it different than what your parents' definition of success was for you? Different than your spouse's definition? And the important question is it different than the life you are leading now? If so, it's decision time. What's interesting is it was exactly opposite for me. When I wrote my definition, it was the life I was leading, except previous to my writing it and rereading my actual definition, I was frustrated with my life, or let's just say unsettled, unsatisfied, unfulfilled, and anxious, feeling like I needed to be doing something bigger, something better. When I saw how in alignment it was, I really sank into my role, my existing life, and my objectives. It was magnificently liberating, and since my success has soared, I hope you've had an epiphany of some sort with this exercise as well. Okay, if you didn't complete the exercise, please do so before going on to the next module. Until next time, I wish you an insanely great day.
Insane Productivity was designed and delivered by Darren Hardy. Copyright Darren Hardy. All rights reserved. For more information about Darren Hardy, his books, programs, and success resources, or to hire him to speak at your conference or train your leadership team, visit darrenhardy.com. Insane Productivity was recorded and edited by Richard Del Maestro of Studio Del Maestro, specializing in the coaching, recording, and production of the spoken word for thought leaders. For more information, visit delmaestro.com.